So I tied this cute little dry fly this morning, and it just reminded me that streamers are so much more superior. So this is a cool little double deceiver pattern that my buddy Christian showed me, and I fished it last year. It fished really good for me, so I've been tying a bunch up and fishing them this year. So let's give it a go. All right, here we go. So I'm gonna start out with this Gamakatsu B10s stinger. This is actually a number 1 I have in the vise. This is gonna be my front hook. So we'll go ahead and address that first. I'm gonna put a little keel weight on here. So I got 0.035 lead-free wire. Put like 5 or 6 wraps on it. Break that wire off. That looks good. Just gonna push these points down so I don't break my thread. And I'm gonna take this wire and I'm gonna bring it down and around the bend of the hook. Little ways like that. Then I got 210 denier olive thread. Just gonna kind of dress this hook a little bit. I'm gonna make this little ramp up to that wire. That way it'll kind of lock it in. I'm gonna kind of lightly bring my thread around to the back of the hook. On the other side, I'm gonna do the same thing. Just put a few thread wraps back behind that wire. What that'll do is keep that lead-free wire in place. So I'm just gonna put a bunch of thread wraps through the wire. Keep it tight. That looks good. I'll just throw a little whip finish in here. My thread. And I'm gonna take some of the Solarez bone dry. I'm just gonna kind of coat this wire and this thread. Make sure you get it all the way around. That's good. I'm gonna take my UV light. I'm gonna cure this. Make sure it's cured really good because I put quite a bit on there. And I'm just gonna set that to the side. Now, going back with the number 2 B10s in the vise. I'm just gonna throw a thread base to this 210 denier. Down and just kind of make a few cross wraps through here just to kind of give those feathers a good base to sit on. Alright, now I'm going to pick a couple of my American Rooster saddle and olive. There we go. I'm going to turn those feathers back to back, line up the tips. And we'll just tie these right in on top. Trim the butt sections, and I'll just take the fluff of this feather and just kind of pull it back. Making some snug wraps. That'll work. Now I'm going with some white bucktail. Out. Make sure you align the tips. I guess you don't have to. I just like to because it looks nicer. I'm just going to take our white bucktail, kind of layered around the hook, go back around halfway down that feather, make sure they're all even around the hook shank, pull that tight. There we go. I'll just pull all these fibers up, cut it off. Alright. Next we have this polymer chenille. This is size medium. And this is a pearl gray. Alright, stick that in here. Wrap all the way back to where you tied in that bucktail. And I wrap up not quite to the eye. Close to the eye. And we're going to pop this around the hook. Go. And I'll stop about 1/4 inch away from that hook eye. And if you want to clean these fibers up, make it look nice and pretty, I don't think the fish really care, but aesthetically pleasing to me, so that's what we're gonna do. Alright, I'm gonna take my thread all the way to that front of the eye. Next we're going with some craft fur. Can't see that. Craft fur, white. I don't want to pull off too much of this, just a small chunk of it. Make sure you clean those fibers out real good. Get all that under fluff out of there. And the same thing, we'll line these tips. Make it look pretty. Good enough. I want these feathers to go, or this hair to go, basically we'll measure basically back to where the tips of that bucktail I tied in goes. Okay, flip your hook upside down, and we're gonna reverse tie this, so I'm gonna tie the tips facing the other way. Put pinch wrap right in front of that hook eye. Okay, and I'm just gonna kind of wrap back. So about where I have that chenille tied in at, and cut it off. Flip the hook over, and here you can kind of adjust these fibers and make sure they're all on the bottom. Looks good. Now we're going with olive craft fur, and same thing, same amount of hair, just a little bit. You don't have to do a lot. It's just going to cover up the bucktail when we tie it in. Tips up. That looks good. I'm just going to tie this in with the same length as I tied that white in. Hopefully all the way up to the front of the turtle. Take my thread all the way to the hook eye right here. All the way back where you have that chenille tied in at. Turn that off. Alright, I'm just going to grab this olive and make sure it's on top good and the white's on bottom good. That'll work. We'll bring that thread all the way back up to the front of the eye. Now we're going to tie in some more bucktail. Go back with some more white. And we're going to do about the same amount as we tied on the bottom. On the back, excuse me, of this fly. Just tips the line. That's good. Slip the hook over. Then we're gonna align it with that white craft fur tied in. Just wrap all the way back to that chenille. And the same thing, I'm going to wrap back forward, back to that hook eye. There we go. Next we're going with all the bucktail, and you can tie in about the same amount as you put on the white. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. Kind of get the back profile of this fly. Looks good. Line the tips up with your craft fur. And starting at the eye and working my way back. There we go. I just kind of do touching wraps of that thread all the way back. Now I'm going to bring that thread like right to the middle of where I made all those thread wraps at. I'm going to pull this olive bucktail up. I'm just going to kind of mash it backwards, kind of make it flare out. I'm going to pull that craft fur up and then do the same thing with the white on the bottom. I'm just going to mash it down. There we go. Take the hair packer tool and just kind of keep everything white on bottom, olive on top. Use the back of my hair packer. Push all that back. There we go. Alright, pull everything back nice and tight. This thread, make a couple snug wraps, kind of pull down, a couple more snug wraps, pull all my flat fibers back. That looks good. And from here, I'm going to take some super glue. Just kind of coat this thread with your super glue. Just make 2 or 3 wraps with that. Throw a little half hitch in it. There we go. And you can brush it out if you want. Not necessary, but it looks good. Alright, back hook is done. And sometimes if it kind of crowd the eye a little bit, like I kind of did here, I'll just take the whole shebang and just kind of wiggle it side to side and push it back, so that way you make sure you got plenty of movement for this back hook. Alright, now on to the front hook. The back of the vise, we've already got our lead tied on here. Gonna make this thread base with this 210. I just kind of like to do open spiral loops here, kind of give that mono we're going to tie in a second to really grab onto that thread. Okay. I'll take some of this 50-pound mono I got from Walmart. Works great. Just going to trim off a piece of this. I kind of have everything measured on my vise so I know where to cut my mono at, but you can just cut and figure it out however it is for you. Alright, next I'm going to throw a couple beads from Hareline. These are the 3D beads, olive and white. It probably won't work if you don't use olive and white. It's got to match colors. take my mono, run it through the hook eye of this back hook. Thread the beads on the two ends. There we go, just like that. I'm gonna lay this on the near side to me and just kind of wrap back just to kind of snug it down, and then we'll measure our length from our back hook to our front hook. Oops, too tight. And like I did on this logo, I just like to leave a little bit of an open loop here on the back. That back, that's good. I'm gonna wrap forward. And I don't go all the way to the hook eye. I stop it probably about ½ inch short, and I'll just fold these two pieces of mono back over themselves. Just wrap over the top. There we go. That'll give you plenty of room to work up front. Then, more super glue. I'll put a few more wraps over that super glue to kind of seat it in there. There we go. Next, going with some more white bucktail. Just a small amount. Just want to cover the connector we have here between this front and back hook. Aligning my tips. And I want to measure about 3/4 of the way up, maybe a little more than 3/4 of the way up that other bucktail and craft rubber we put in. And what I like to do here is I split these fibers, and then I'll just put them between my hook like this. And then I'm going to use my left hand to hold it down. Just put a few securing wraps here. And I only want this on the bottom. I don't want it bottom and top. Okay, that looks good. And then I'm going to put a little bit more olive bucktail. And just use the same amount of white as you, or olive as you do white. Looks good. Got the same place. Tie that right on top of the hook. There we go. Don't pull it tight enough, it will fall out on you. There we go. And then also sometimes I like to take some thread wraps and go between those bucktail fibers. That way your bucktail doesn't fall out. 'Cause that would suck. Alright. Looks good. Now we're going with some more Palmer chenille in medium. With a ½ hitch in the front. And just palm that around your hook. Capture your material. Put a couple wraps in front. Alright, just get that out of the way. And I guess we'll clean these fibers up a little bit with my hairbrush. Here I actually like to stack some more, a little bit more bucktail. So we're going to put some olive on top. like to do is take this bucktail like this. I'm going to split it. Run the thread through it. Split it a little bit more. Thread through it. It kind of helps those fibers to stay up high. There we go. Looks good. I'll throw a little bit more white on the bottom. To the side, really sit nice on the hook. And I don't really split the, well, yeah, I don't split the bottom, it doesn't really matter. Bottom usually sits okay. Alright. Just gonna kind of taper that ramp off a little better for us. There we go. Alright, now I'm gonna advance my thread all the way to the very front of that hook. Going back with your white craft fur. This one grab a little bit more healthy of a chunk. Tips, for the most part, they don't all have to be aligned. Some of them are a little shorter. Look around. These are going to be just a little bit longer than the ones you put in on the back. That thread all the way back to where I have that last set of bucktail tied in. And here you can make sure all those fibers are on the bottom. Work all the way back up to the front of that hook eye. There we go. Once again, olive craft fur, same thing, a little bit healthier of a chunk of craft fur. Gotta be careful though, if you put too much, even though this stuff does technically shed water, it will weigh your fly down. Just line it with the white ones. Now I'm sure if my buddy Christian is watching this, he's telling me that I'm definitely doing something wrong because he's the one who showed me how to tie this fly. But it'll work. Alright, just gotta make sure those olive hairs are on top. That's good. Alright. Get my thread back up to that hook eye. And then we're gonna go back with some more white bucktail. This time I'm gonna go a little bit heavier of a chunk of white bucktail than I have been putting on the fly. Okay, I want this head to be nice and thick so that way it really pushes water. Really makes that head of the fly move, and then that when you stop it, that back end will kick. Alright, so quite a bit more bucktail on the bottom. That's white. Then I actually like the tips of the bucktail on the front. I like them to go just a little bit further past that white craft fur we put in. Not too far, maybe like 1/8 of an inch, something, just a little bit. Okay, I'm tightly wrapping that bucktail all the way back. here, trim all the excess off. Okay. Going back to the front of that hook eye again. And then same thing with your olive bucktail. Alright, much thicker. Much more thicker. Whatever. My wife will watch this video and tell me my grammar is terrible. And same thing with this bucktail as well. I want it to be just a little bit further past that craft fur that we tied in. Snug wraps. Alright. I'm going to take my thread back up. I'm going to make sure my thread is fairly straight. Make sure it's not slanted, because whenever you fold the fibers back over themselves to do this reverse tie, it looks nasty. Doesn't look good at all. Last but not least, I am going to take some Peacock hurl. I'll take a pretty healthy chunk of this Peacock. Trim it off at the butt. Okay. And then I'm going to lay this in kind of long, but it's okay because you can actually, we're going to trim this at the very end. And just leave this on the back. That's good. Tie that in. Alright. Now for the fun part. Alright, now for the fun part, we're going to take our bucktail. Like I said, we're going to pull the olive up and then just kind of mash that back, fan it out, so you can see that better. Fan it out real good, and then you can pull all that olive craft fur out the way, and then I'm going to push the white all the way down. Okay, this just kind of helps you when you go to flare this out. I'm going to take the back end of my tool, I'm just going to thread down a little bit. Push all that back, so it helps to have a good hair packer tool. Okay. If you're looking for this exact tool, I'm really sorry, but they don't make it anymore. So I was just very fortunate when I did buy it here a few years ago. So sucks to suck. All right. Should probably edit that out. Alright, so got all those fibers freeing back. I'm going to put a couple thread wraps on top, kind of snug that down. I'm going to move all this to the back. And if you have a few scraggly pieces of this craft fur up front, it's alright. I got a way to cure that at the end. Make sure you don't pull too tight and break your thread here too, because it does happen to me quite a bit. I'm going to push that head back just a little, that way I've got enough room on my hook eye to put my line through whenever I get ready to fish this. Okay, that's good. And then same thing in the back, I'm going to put my super glue on my thread. That way you can get 2 or 3 wraps of this super glue around this fly, that way it doesn't fall apart on you. And then one little half hitch. There we go. And turn it up. And voila! And then you can brush it out. There we go. Alright, cool trick. So if you got a little bit of these scraggly fibers from this crab fur still sticking out, what you do, take a lighter, and I'll just kind of hold all these fibers back and just lightly just brush over the front of it, and that'll push them all out of the way, out of your hook eye. Oh yeah, looks good. Sweet. Alright, last but not least, we gotta throw some eyes on this bad boy. So sometimes whenever you make this fly, it kind of twists around on you a little bit around the hook, and so you can just take it and just make sure it's straight, and then I'll take my fingers and pinch down on the side of this fly like this, and it kind of gives you a flatter surface to put those eyes on. I just got some 3D eyes from Hareline. This is 3/8 super pearl. What I like to do is take the eyes and just stick them on the back of my hand like this. Like that. That way you can make little finger hands. I'm kidding. Alright, I've got some Zap-A-Gap gel now. Just gonna turn my vise to the side. I'm gonna put a nice little round dot of glue on there. And I put it right there where the white meets the olive. Unless you didn't do it right, then it'll be. Yeah. Alright, so just kind of push on that a little bit. Make sure those eyes stick. Looks good. And turn it to the other side. Right, the same exact spot, just a little dot. Make sure you don't use too much, because if that glue runs out, then it'll stick on your finger, and then it'll stick to your eye, and then you'll be real mad. Just trust me, I've done it. Push on it. And there we go. Great looking double deceiver. Nice looking double deceiver. And it smells really good too. Quick shout out to my buddy Christian that showed me this fly. It's dope. Give it a try. If you like this video, hit that like button, that thumbs up, and subscribe. I'll throw out some more videos. Thank y'all.